welcome everyone to this new episode of TNG that took a lot of effort to get to, a lot of technical
Here we
difficulties. But
are.
here we are. We got Nick. I call him EnAge, but he's got a different name for himself. Musician, high vibration human. Nick, just go ahead and explain a little bit about your mission upon planet Earth and what you're here to provide through your music.
Of course. Thanks so much, Owen, for having me. Glad to be doing this again. We've been doing this a few years ago, I think, and it was amazing. So glad to be doing this again. I'm Nick. I go by the artist name EnAge. I love your name, though, Energy Music. And yeah, I'm a music artist and entrepreneur from Germany. Grew up in the States, partly kind of living between Mexico, in between Mexico and the US right now. My mission, I would say, is to spread as much positive energy as possible through my music. For me, music is therapy. I express myself, I express my feelings, my experiences, everything in my music, and I use it as a daily outlet to, yeah, just process emotions, feelings, experiences in my life. And music is one of the most amazing tools that we have on planet Earth. So yeah, my mission is obviously to for myself to process everything and to help myself feel better through my music, but also spread positive energy through my music, help other people, make them feel better, and overall just raise the vibration on this planet.
Excellent. And we were talking before in our previous recording that it really is a huge influence on our life, music. And what we may feel is serving us musically might not be serving us, right? So we have experiences where I personally have been in a place where I was listening to negative music. For example, in my early teens and late teens, I was listening to a lot of gangster rap music and quite depressed at that time period of my life. And it's because of all this negative programming, this negative lyrics, negative vibrations. Uh, like Biggie Smalls got that song, Suicidal Thoughts. That's programming. So
Yeah.
We were saying before, we have that ability to eat music with our ears. It's like healthy lyrics, healthy positive vibrations, healing vibrations is like music to your ears for part of your diet. Just like I can eat healthy vegetables, fruits, herbs, drink some tea, and that's nourishing for what's coming through my mouth. But what we're listening to is also medicine. So I wanted to ask you, how can somebody who maybe is not feeling great in their life right now start to shift into shifting their music choices so that they can feel better through their choice of listening?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I love the analogy that you made. Like, we also kind of eat with our ears. It's not just what we really consume through food or through any other experiences, but the music that we listen to is should be very intentional. We should have a very intentional use for the music that we listen to in our everyday lives, because there are subliminals, there are lyrics, like you said, that can really get to you. Generally speaking, like I said, I think music is one of the biggest tools that we have. It's, for me personally, I believe one of the easiest tools that we have to immediately change our state of consciousness, raise our vibration. But at the same time, like you say, it can like drop our vibration and put us in a low state of being when we listen to the wrong type of music, for sure. For me, if someone is going through a hard time, I mean, I can just think about myself, because I've been going through a lot of changes these last years. Um, what I Obviously, we can get very technical and think about the frequencies of music, etc. There are healing frequencies, but in general, what I would say is every person, I think, has music that knows makes them feel good. And obviously, a lot of times this can be pop music, this can be more of uplifting music. That's always a good way to go, because that kind of music can bring us in a state of ecstasy. Generally speaking, we don't need to only use the commercial music that is out there on the radio or Spotify, etc. But there are, like I said, specific frequencies. I think there's 432 hertz music, specific frequencies that we can use that are proven to help us process things, help us calm down, help us relax. And it's also music in the end, and that can really help you drop the focus of maybe negative circumstances in your life and bring the energy back to yourself and kind of, yeah, raise your vibration that way, if that makes sense.
That's really the future of music, but also the future of medicine. What you said about the 432 hertz, those
Yeah.
solfeggio frequencies. I'm seeing now that there's musicians like yourself that are starting to integrate those frequencies, and that tuning, it's so powerful. I mean, there's studies. I'm not, I'm not a scientist. I'm not someone who needs the deep analytical science
Yeah.
to verify these things, but in my life and in many people I know who have used the solfeggio frequencies, it can make a profound shift. Like 528 hertz is supposed to repair your DNA. And I'll have times where I'll just go into a meditation session with 528 hertz, send some Reiki to myself, activate the healing hands, and that music, that frequency just like profoundly influences your DNA, your body at a physical level. So, how would you say that you personally utilize these solfeggio frequencies? And could you tell us a little bit about healing frequencies and how other musicians and other people like myself who don't create music can
Mhm.
utilize these frequencies in our life?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to tell you as much as I know about it because I've been started to using it more and more in my everyday life. The so-called binaural beats, which are produced a specific way. These can be different frequencies, 432, 528, like you said. But the whole concept of that is that it alters your brain waves, the state of your brain waves, and puts you in different, brainwave states, which are basically proven to help you meditate, to help you also manifest and just feel better overall. So what I would always say is start with binaural beats to meditate. I've done the same, started last year, I think, and it helped me immensely. Choose a frequency that really makes sense for you and that you feel like fits you, because there are a lot of different healing frequencies out there, and some of them also are for specific areas in your life. So yeah, I think the best you can do is that. And yeah, like you said, I've heard that more and more musicians are using frequencies or subliminals in their music to help people with that, which is, I think, the most amazing thing. Like you say, it's the future. So that's all I could recommend from my side.
Excellent. No, what's also powerful is nature sounds. So
For
the frequency
sure.
sounds, and a few come to my mind. So just this morning, after I got off the night shift from my matrix job or my other main source of income,
Mhm.
uh, I was utilizing mountain lion purr sounds. So cats actually have been proven, and this is not just me being a wizard talking about how cats make noises that can heal your body. No, has been scientifically proven that cats purr increases bone density. So it actually heals your bones and helps you to remineralize your bones
Wow.
to the next level. And I'm like, if I can find like a big cat purring, that's going to be better than a house cat. And it
Uh-huh.
really very empowering. And
For
there's also
sure.
on another note, from a musical standpoint, if you slow down, uh, kind of lake or nighttime noises with the crickets and frogs, it actually sounds like a symphony. That
Mhm.
that just blows my mind that we have little bugs, crickets, that have like a violin on their leg. Like,
Yeah, exactly. In
got
the
a
end, in the
violin.
end, yeah, like everything comes back to its base, to the basics, right? Like if we really want to like use healing sounds, like we can just go into nature. Like we don't need anything else, to be honest. And that's so often life, we try to overcomplicate things, and in the end, it's really the basics, the foundation that is already in front of us that we can use for our healing.
Absolutely. And something that has been an interesting point for myself and a lot of other people who are interested in earth sciences, earth spirit, the consciousness of earth, is what's called the Schumann's resonance. So the Schumann's resonance, for anyone who doesn't know already, is the vibration of earth herself, like the literal frequency of earth, the music of earth. And it's been steady going up. I remember about 10 or so years ago when I first found out about it, it was about 7.86 was kind of the steady frequency, but it's been jumping up to the hundreds, it's been jumping up to the thousands. So when people are intuitively talking about earth is raising her vibration, this isn't just like hippie talk. This isn't just kind of somebody tripping a little bit and having some sort of diffusion. No, this is literal science. They have this on graphs that it's showing that certain times of year, certain mass meditations, certain astrological influences can literally raise the vibration of earth. So when you talk about utilizing music as a tool to raise our own vibration, that is really music as medicine. You look at the Chinese kanji, a lot of people have seen that meme of the music and medicine, and the ancient Chinese is almost the same exact character. So this is the future of medicine. And this not only includes music that we can hear, but also your inner vibration, right? So I just shared a practice of gratitude qigong, where I'm breathing in a state of gratitude and lowering it into my lower chakras, my lower dantian. And that is literally changing the music within me, because I could go around blah, 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 complaining, and I have done that in my life. But you enter that state of gratitude, breathe that in, lock that in, then your body, your soul is playing a different tune. So how do you feel about inner music and the creative process of like taking that music that you have inside you and translating it into a physical song, a verbal song?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I love what you just said. I think that's the one of the hardest things for us nowadays in this crazy fast world, is to really, take a step back and listen to our inner music. Like you say, it's nobody really does that anymore. Of course they do, but it's very rare, and it's really difficult in this world that we live in. So for me personally, yeah, obviously the inner music that we have, a lot of times is defined by our outer circumstance, by outer events in our life, which shouldn't be that way, because for me, one of the biggest challenges I've been facing is to, self-regulate emotions and that inner music, without, either negative or positive circumstances in my outer reality needing to change that or needing to influence that. So for me personally, I'm really always trying to come from an authentic state of being, from a real authentic state of being when I start writing songs. Especially nowadays, I haven't always been like that, but as you raise your vibration, your states of consciousness, everything changes. Usually that's how it should be. And for me, I could definitely see that reflect back in my music, whereas the lyrics that I'm writing now and everything that I'm writing now is way more coming from my true self, because I took a step back and, like you said, listen to my inner music, listen to what's going on. And that's the biggest challenge. I mean, that's why we meditate. That's why we have all of these techniques to find back to ourselves, because that's where we should be. That's where our energy should be laying.
That's such an excellent point you make about the external music that others are playing and how that's influencing us.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been pondering upon recently is how can I become more harmonious in terms of that rhythm with other people's songs? You know,
Hmm.
I'm not perfect. I've fucked up. I've been disharmonious. I've hurt people, and it's music. It really is music. It's art. And if I want to be a more harmonious being, kind of tune my inner instrument. And I have to also acknowledge that I might be playing R&B or funk inside. I'm like jamming out to a soul tune, and somebody else might be doing some heavy metal.
Yeah.
Am I gonna jump in and like engage with their music, or maybe I kind of go into a state of silence and maybe shift to another frequency? But also just being aware, how am I fitting in rhythmically? What's the vibration of others? Being sensitive. Where are you at? How can I harmonize with you, so that I'm not speaking out of turn or overplaying my solo or something like this? How can I fit in a way where I'm not changing the nature of who I am at a soul level? So like fitting in a way that's natural, in a way that's peaceful, like a puzzle piece fitting in naturally. And like you said, if there's just a vibration that's so low, I don't have to engage in it. I could go, ooh, I'm not into that music. I'm not into that vibration. I can go to a different concert. I can go to a different vibration, and I don't have to engage in every song that's being played out there, especially in the mainstream, because the mainstream is polluted. And without going too deep, what do you think is some of the harmful effects of listening to too much mainstream music, like Hollywood kind of music?
Yeah, so from what I heard, it's a lot, especially rap music that has these low frequencies that really brings you, or maybe not consciously but subconsciously can really bring you down. I haven't really heard it too much about other types of music, but especially rap. And I think, yeah, this is something that we started off with today. Like you said, you listen to rap, even if it has those suicidal lyrics or any type of lyrics, or if it's not, but if you already know that rap music, generally speaking, the frequency of it is low. I think it can really, the thing is, we don't really consciously notice that in our everyday life. We might hear a song, an hour later, we're like a little bit worried about something in our life, and we don't really realize where it's coming from, but maybe it came from that music that we listened to an hour before. And I think that's really the harmful thing, and that's also the situations and moments where we need to be aware of that, where we need to come back, bring it back to ourselves, the energy, and really realize, okay, what's been going on today? What could make me feel that way? And kind of like, go over everything that has happened and go over your emotions and try to figure out really what made you feel that way in the first place. So I think a lot of time, especially with music, maybe it's not something we directly notice, but it can definitely bring us down. And from what I heard, like I said, it's especially rap music, the commercial rap music. Yeah.
Yeah, especially the new stuff. I mean, there was time periods where there's some really excellent poetic rhythm
Yeah.
and poetry, the origin. But nowadays, oh my gosh, some of this stuff is garbage. Like I've literally come to the conclusion that it's not even music, because
Hmm.
music requires a certain level of talent. Like there's the vocals, there's the instruments, but now it's like just like nonsense, like just nonsensical lyrics, no talent voice wise, and then you get the Ableton beatbox creator, that beat creator. You press two buttons, it synthesizes a beat for you. That
Yeah.
doesn't take talent. Like it, you can make beats that are musical and weave in music, and you could use auto tune and all these things, but when it's just somebody mumble rapping
Yeah.
over over a it's like, where's the music in that? What frequency is that initiating in your body and your soul, like
Exactly.
taking you to like this dumb consumerist state. And I only say this so bluntly because I have love and I care for the people on earth, and I see people falling into these traps of music where it's like you can feel that low vibration.
Yeah.
And I always know if the music is somewhat uh low vibration, because I won't be able to dance to it.
Mhm.
like vibrate music that has any sort of rhythm, instrumental, uh good vocal, I can groove to it. Like naturally I'm a good dancer and I love to
Exactly.
dance. But like I found myself with a lot of this pop music and a lot of this new hip rap music. I don't even want to call it rap because it's not rhythmic and it's not poetic. It's like, how can I dance to it? Like, I'm a and I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
I totally get it. And in the end, I guess, I mean, it's difficult because in the end, everything can be seen as art, you know? We cannot really say it's not art or it's not music or anything. It's really a lot of, it's very subjective in the end as well. But just from a state of, just from the going back to the point of feeling something, feeling a state of ecstasy, feeling a state of joy, of happiness, at least for myself and for yourself, like you said, that music when someone is just mumbling the same things very monotonely over like a simple beat, it doesn't really bring you that joy or ecstasy. Maybe it does for some people, and that's great, but obviously, like we said, there are, I think, specific frequencies that are more likely to make you feel good things. And yeah, that's I think how I feel about it. I always try to not judge anything, but obviously there are different levels and different levels of frequencies and how music can make you feel.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
different levels, and another way of putting it could be different flavors.
exactly. Yeah,
Sometimes I'm in a mood where I'm just feeling in the zone and zen and very peaceful in my qigong practice, and I'll throw on some classical Japanese or Chinese music, and I'll just be like, ooh, like tears are stuck coming down my eyes, and the wind is blowing through the trees, and everything is flowing. But then
yeah,
sometimes like feeling some like punk energy, and I want to throw on some Incubus and some Foo Fighters or something, and like get it like a little bit more amped up. Uh,
exactly.
it's music, you know. It's
Exactly.
like sometimes I'm feeling like I want something sweet. Sometimes I'm feeling like I want something salty. Sometimes I'm feeling like I want something savory, juicy, spicy.
And that's how
Uh,
it should be, because that's why we have this huge library of music and, you know, this huge selection, because we can literally choose what kind of state of consciousness, what kind of state we are in today, and what we want to listen to. And we should be so grateful for that. And that's why I love music.
and like you said before, something that we're in a state of teaching now that we've learned already, that a lot of people can benefit from, is that you can change that station inside. Most people feel powerless. Most people feel in a state of they're feeling sad. That's just what they're gonna have to roll with. No. You have an opportunity to flip the switch. Like, hey, I don't like the music, my attitude, like my vibration. I don't like this channel. I'm gonna shift. What do I want to feel? And it
Mhm.
might not be happy. It might not be. Maybe you don't want to feel happy. Maybe you want to feel a bit emotional and sad, and that's okay.
Exactly.
But if you want to flip that switch to happy or amped up or energized, then you have every opportunity through external music, but also internal music, to say, hey, I'm powerful. Hey, I
Mhm.
have a soul. I didn't sell out to Hollywood. I got my soul still. Like I can pull in. I can pull in and choose. a frequency and be a source rather than uh, a sucker.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. Definitely. And I mean, I'm sure like 95% of the music that you're listening to, or at least that I'm listening to, is I know brings me in a state that I want to be in, but I also have a playlist on Spotify that's called sad music. And like you said, it's okay to feel, if you want to feel emotional, it's good to feel your feelings. And usually once we feel them, it's that when we can let them go. So that's coming back to that point. Just again, what I want to say is that it's amazing that we have this selection, that we can really select and choose music to listen to that we know brings us in a desired state, whatever that may be, if it's sad, happy. But just that power and potential that is there is amazing.
Yeah, and that's something that I don't know if everyone takes advantage of. A lot of people
Yeah.
listen to music online, but also like something that not a lot of people have gratitude for is imagine what it was like 40 years ago, right? We're in, oh gosh, 40 years ago was the 80s. That makes me feel a little bit old. But yeah, like 40, 50 years ago, you had to go get a record and you had to have a record player, or cassettes. I think came out in, they were out in the 90s still when I was a kid. But like even in the 90s, even 30 years ago, you had to have a cassette or you had to be listening to radio. You couldn't just flip on anything. Then the iPod came, and then the iPod came out, and we had like our iPod, the original iPods with that you could like get 20 songs, and everyone was, oh my gosh, I got 20 songs on,
Exactly.
listen to any time, anywhere. And now you could listen to like anything anywhere. I could go on YouTube and listen to some dude from Malaysia playing the banjo. Like
Yeah.
you have so much variety. And classical too. Like I could listen to some symphony from some Chinese orchestra that the music was created in the year 1400 or something. I
Yeah.
could listen Mozart. I could listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. I could like the amount of selection that you brought up that we have now is astonishing. So
It
this is a,
is.
we really need to empower ourselves with our music choices. Like go out and on a musical quest and like search for those artists that maybe aren't in the mainstream spotlight. Because right now the mainstream spotlight is like really not good. I mean, it's not just not good in my judgment. It's literally not talented musicians playing uh, talent oriented
Mhm.
melodies. So find somebody who's like maybe they got 100 views on YouTube and they're on SoundCloud, but they rock. Like they are so good and they just don't have the following. Find those people and support those people and don't just feed into the matrix that wants to give you the Sam Smith and give you the Lady Gaga and give you the freaking Little Yachty or whatever these like vampires
Yeah, I
are.
I I agree. And for me, I mean, obviously it's okay to support these artists, but just support small artists just as much. Not, and not support them less just because they're less popular, less famous. I think in the end we tend to only idolize celebrities and people that really like are in the top music industry. But in the end, it's all about spreading love, like we said in the beginning, and really putting out there what you believe in. And if that is an artist that like you said, has 0 following or 100 followers or whatever, that doesn't matter. If that makes you feel something just as much as Sam Smith does on the radio, that's just as good. So yeah, really try to be I guess my tip would be, because I try to live like that as well, try to be as um not judgmental of anything, or just not of too idolizing of anything, and really always follow your intuition and follow what makes you feel good in the first place.
You know what that makes me think of too is compassionate music choosing when you're in group settings with friends. Because I've been in situations where somebody's playing some music and it's just like, oh, this is like killing the vibe, man. And being able to compassionately tell someone else, hey, this is really, can we listen to something else? This is really, let's meet in the middle somewhere with our music choice, so we can be in harmony. And also for ourselves being open to, hey, maybe the person I'm with really doesn't like this music that I'm playing. All right, let's be open to changing this up and changing up the vibration so we could have harmony. That's something I feel like a lot of people get really offended personally by their music choices. Like if I say, hey, I really don't like Lady Gaga, or like,
Yeah,
hey, I really don't like Lil Yachty. This is really like not making me feel good. Like some people get offended. They're like, "Oh, well, like you don't like my music," or it's like it's not you. Like I'm not saying you're,
exactly.
just saying that this isn't my vibe. Let's find a song that we could vibe to together, and then we're both feeling good. And
Yeah,
I some people need to hear that message, that hey, like somebody else might not like certain music choices that you have, and that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that you're stupid for choosing that song. It just means, hey, switch it up a little bit. And the same with life, like, hey, maybe somebody doesn't like your attitude. Maybe somebody doesn't like uh, the way you're treating them. You could switch that up and be like, oh, my bad, I didn't know. You don't have to take it so personally. Like, oh my gosh, like everything is going. Like, you don't have
exactly.
to be
Yeah,
so emotionally attached to the vibration that you're holding with music. Like you could say, oh, yeah, change the channel. I got you. I want you to feel good as well as myself. I don't want it to just be me vibing to this music. Let's find something that we can vibe to together. And if you got nothing you can vibe to together, I don't know. Maybe that's not a compatible.
no music. That's not a compatible setting in the first place, probably. But yeah, like you said, I know we have to wrap this up. The time is almost over, but yeah, that's I think a really important thing that you just said. I think it's in the end, it's all about compassion. It's all about love. Obviously, you want to spend time with people who are not completely on a different level in life, but even when it comes to music, usually there's always something a middle to find that works for both sides. But music is so powerful, and it shouldn't be a. I think the important thing is that it shouldn't be a reason to for disturbance, for negative experience, etc. It should only help us get to our desired state of consciousness. And yeah, man, in the end, it's all about love, and music can really help us get there together. So I think that's how we should end this.
Absolutely. Thank you everybody for joining. Make sure to check out Music, EnAge.
Exactly.
EnAge.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Owen.
EnAge. EnAge. Check out. It's got some new releases, some good stuff, some nice positive vibration. And thank you for joining, Nick. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. This is a good flow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Owen. Love talking to you. We had a great conversation. Obviously, we're going to do this again sometime in the future. So yeah, glad to got to know you. I mean, via Instagram. That's the power of technology right now. So I'm glad that we connected and we're still connected. Thank you for the amazing conversation, man. And yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. Peace, brother.
Awesome. Peace.